Have you ever had a "this is not what I was expecting" kind of moment? I want to tell you about one of my recent ones. So every morning when I get ready, I typically use a little Q-tip to touch up my eye makeup. And I don't need that Q-tip to be super wet. Like, I'm not going to put it under the sink, but I just needed it to be a little bit wet. So what I'll typically do is just kind of put it on the tip of my tongue and get it wet so I can touch up my makeup. Well, the other day, I picked up what I thought was a clean Q-tip, and I discovered as soon as I put it in my mouth that it was not clean. Andy had actually used that Q-tip to clean his ears. And the first thing that went through my mind was, this is not what I was expecting. One of the most mind-blowing discoveries or misses when it came to people's expectations was when Jesus came to earth as the Messiah. He came lowly and humbly. They thought he was going to come in the grandeur of a king, and it was not what the Israelites were expecting. They for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years had been expecting the Messiah to come with like military conquest and power and free them from the oppression of the Romans. But when he came as he did, humbly as a baby, the mindset shift was it was too great for a lot of them, and he didn't meet their expectations, and they missed him altogether. In Philippians chapter 2, it describes what it was like when Jesus came. I want to read these verses to you. It says, Jesus, who being in very nature God, so he is God, but he did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant and being made in human likeness. Being found in appearance of a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Now, this is not the kind of Messiah that they were looking for. They were hoping for military conquest and financial prosperity, but what they got was a baby in a manger and a cross on Golgotha. And when you compare the two of those expectations, this is super disappointing. But the thing is, they didn't know the whole story. They were only seeing their slice. And if you are to continue reading this passage in Philippians 2, it says, therefore, since Jesus humbled himself and since he went to the cross, God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. They didn't have the whole story. All they could see was what they could see with their eyes, that he was poor and he didn't have any political power and he didn't free them from the oppression of the Romans. So surely this could not be the Messiah. I wonder in your life, what are you hoping God to come through for you on? And maybe what are some ways that he's not meeting your expectations? I wonder if you might feel a little disillusioned by that. And maybe God has something there for you to discover about his true nature, that there's a bigger story that he's writing. So friend, I just want to encourage you today that you're only seeing a slice of the pie. None of us have the whole story. But don't give up on this journey of discovering more about who God really is, because he's writing this beautiful redemptive plan for your life. And it includes your pain and your disappointments and your trials that you're enduring. So the question that I hope you'll think about today, maybe journal about, is what expectations do you have of God that he's currently not meeting? And how could those disappointments or unmet expectations lead you to further discoveries about who God really is? I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.